Okay, perfect. We're gonna get it started. Today is April 2nd. April 2nd. So first and foremost, I appreciate everybody being on. It really means a lot to me. I really want to set the intention that I mean the whole purpose of the call is to be able to just give back and help out. And I think I don't think I know as we continue to succeed in our life, it's very, very important that we continue to give back. Um, so it really means a lot to me. I really, it means a lot for everybody to be on. Everyone has things to do. Everybody can be somewhere else. So the intention is to hopefully we can grow and get some ideas, get some just be able to set the intention that we're here to help each other and grow, either if it's personally through businesses, through our business. So first and foremost, I want to say thank everybody. I'm gonna pretty much have like an open dialogue. I'm kind of just gonna see like kind of where it flows and how it goes. I really don't have. Ideally, if you guys can put your screens on, it would be helpful so I can see more faces than just their names. So it can give me an idea like who's engaging. So first and most, thanks everybody. But yeah, I'm just gonna sort of shoot it, and I'm pretty sure maybe some people have questions. I'll share a little bit about my business as well, as we go. But no, thank you everybody. And so let's start off. So like, basically, is there anybody have any questions or any questions or anything like that we can start off with?
Or no? I think so.
Let's drop in on the comments, like who's real estate agents? Who do we have that are how many real estate agents we have? If you guys can drop the comments. Perfect. Okay. Or you guys can raise your hand or whatever. So what kind of questions do we have? Any questions that we have? Anybody have any burning questions that they wanted to answer?
Yeah, I had a question right here,
Okay,
Jose
so
Garcia.
perfect. Hey, Jose.
Yeah, hey, how you doing, man? So currently I'm in a halfway house. I had an issue with the government a couple of years ago, so I'm a felon. And I was wondering how I could get my license. I heard your podcast like 2 days ago, something like that, like a 30-minute podcast. I
Okay.
was asking some questions in ChatGPT and researching something in Google, but who could get a license for real estate?
Yeah. So his question is that like basically if we have a record, if we have a criminal record, like are we still able to get a license? For anyone that doesn't know me personally, from 2004 to 2012, I got very blessed and I got incarcerated. I really look at it as the best thing that happened to me. It changed my life. So I got incarcerated for probably close to 9 years. It was close to 8.5 years.
That's tough.
And yeah, so I got sentenced to 10 years, and then out of those 10 years, I did close to 9 years. Um, so from 18 to 27, I was incarcerated close to but the beauty about that is that I always tell people it was the best thing that happened to me. And this is sort of going to be real estate. This might be mindset. This might be personal growth. Self-development stuff. But the real estate, through real estate changed my life. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing about real estate and what it's done for me. But to go back is that through prison, I was able to learn about personal growth and self-development. And the two books that changed my life were Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, and all these books that, and this is sort of like a general question, like a general answer to his question, right? So like through all this personal growth and self-development, I was able to have a different way of thinking and a different mindset, a mindset that I didn't know about. And from the books that I read and from the discipline that I didn't realize that I was getting in prison, from waking up in the morning to making my bed to having to be places at a certain time to having to stand up at my bunk and all these habits that I was creating, I didn't realize how important they were from out here because out here I became very disciplined. I built this person that had a very, very, very strong mindset and it made me into who I am. So like, but to answer his question is that like, we all can do this, right? I mean, if you guys came in here as wanting to sell more homes as a real estate agent or wanting to get into the business or maybe thinking about wholesaling or thinking about investing as a developer or investment, whatever it is, right? Like, we put our mind to it, we can definitely make things happen. And when I was in prison, I really wanted to be a real estate agent. I really wanted to get involved in real estate. Let me mute this person real quick. I really wanted to do real estate. And so it's very important that, when we set out to do something and we want it, like, really to stick on that path and to stay focused, and disciplined. And really, a lot of the times too, I played in my head what I really wanted to happen down the road. And we can do that in every aspect of our life. If it's a relationship, if it's our business, whatever it is. But I never gave up, and that was the one thing that kept me wanting to get my real estate license. I just never gave up. They kept on telling me that I wasn't going to get my real estate license. They said I had a felon. They said I had a criminal history. All this stuff that they told me, and it's like and we hear it all the time. We hear it all the time that basically that we would that I was never going to amount to anything. You name it. We all been there, and we all have a story to share, and we all have something to give to the world, and that was through my discipline and not giving up of how I was able to get my real estate license. It took me probably about 14-15 months to get my my real estate license. So to answer your question, that's how I went about it. I kept on applying for the license. I kept on getting denied. And then from getting denied, I appealed the case and I went against the judge, and through the judge, I was able to share my story, and they granted me a license in 2015, January 2015.
I already appreciate that.
Awesome. What else? What other questions do we have?
¿Eso se contestar?
A $3.
Me llevo uno.
Any questions? Anybody else have any questions?
I got a question, man.
Sure. Come on, let's shoot the questions. You guys have me for like an hour. Let's shoot some questions.
Hey, Danny, what's up, man?
Hey, Don.
I saw one of your posts, and
John,
thank you for sharing
really
your
quick, just
story.
share where you're from. What do you do, so we kind of have an idea.
Sure. My name is Don. I'm actually from. I live in San Dimas right now. I'm a realtor, and I have my loan license as well. Looking to transition into being like you and looking into being a part of a deal where we take on a development deal. So that's where I'm trying to be and head towards.
So great question. So basically how I started investing and how I started getting into fix and flip, how I started getting into development deals, adding ADUs, all that stuff is that, Don, I got really good at finding the deal. And the number one thing here, like I see like a lot of real estate agents here, some wholesalers here, is that we have to bring value to somebody. And I brought value to people for so long. What I would do is literally I would go all over Los Angeles, and I would go look at the people that were buying the flips. I would go look at the people that were buying the development deals, the guys that were doing the investors that were doing the ADUs. And I would learn to, what they were doing. I would really like study and like, all right, what are you guys buying? What kind of deals you buying? What location you're buying? and then I would vet the buyers as well. I would vet the sellers as well. I would actually see, if they were really who they were, because a lot of times, how much do we hear? Hey, we're cash buyers, we're buying homes cash, and they're really not, right? So, I started vetting a lot of buyers, and and that's how I brought my value to everybody. And when I would cold call and door knock and do what I needed to do, I felt real to myself. I felt like I was in integrity with myself when I was able to call people and door knock people and really say that, hey, I really do have a buyer. It wasn't like a fake call, like, oh, hey, you know what? We have a buyer, looking for a home. I really had somebody. So once you sort of learn what people are looking for, and you understand what they buy and what's their buy box period, it's reverse engineering, and what that looks like. So, like, for example, if an investor comes to you and says, hey, Don, I'm looking for a flip, so in, let's just say, South Central, for example, right? But can you find me a flip in South Central? And basically what we would do is I would pull data. And so if I would focus on one zip code, and I would pull all, let's just say 2 to 3 bedrooms, and I would pull all that data. I would go to a title officer and ask them, can you give me all the 2 bedrooms, the 3 bedrooms that have maybe, like, from 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, that have that haven't done any remodeling on their house and has lived in the house more than like 15 years. So what you're going to do, the list is going to start getting lower and lower and lower, and you're going to get a good set of homes. You're going to probably get maybe anywhere from 200, 300, 400, homes in that particular pocket. And then what we would do, we skip trace them. So we would, basically I send them, and anything that I'm like, just text it in the text, and I'll get you, like, it's a skip tracing company, a title company, whatever it is. And I'm not making any money off of that or anything like that. So, but I'll connect you with my resources. So what we would do is we would reach out to them and basically we skip trace the numbers, and then we would put them up in a dialer, and then we would cold call them, and then depending on the time of the year, we would also mail them. And that's how I would that's how I would get deals done. And that's the reason, like, I got so good at finding good clients that were doing a lot of volume, that were buying 5, 10, 15, 20 a year. And I knew if I created this list of buyers that, if I can get 5, 10 buyers, and they're all good for 2, 3, 4 homes, then I know at the end of the year, I can probably get 30, 40 homes from them. I can sell them, and then on top of that, what we're doing now, like, we're not only working with investors and developers, we're actually going after everybody. Like, we're looking for a listing, because at the end of the day, we're not going to say no to money. If I sell a house on the street and I know they're going to do a remodel on it, or they're going to do a development project, I know that we have a flag there anywhere from, 3, 4, 5 months to 2 years, depending on the project. Some of these development projects takes anywhere from 18 to 2 years. So that means I have a flag in the yard ready to go, that I can brag to the neighborhood and tell everybody that we just sold a house. And that's how I got really good at basically getting homes, like, in certain pockets, and getting a lot of homes in certain pocket, because we would get a neighbor and then another neighbor, and then we put our sign up, and then they see the sign, and then we cold call them again, and they're like, hey, yeah, we did see that sign, we know who you are. And depending on the location, now I get people calling, like, they're like, hey, they know who we are. They're like, oh, I know you, we seen your sign. And then after you start getting some confidence, and Don, like, and you're like, dude, I kind of see this, you're making the investor a lot of money, is where, you can reach out and say, what, you get the deal. You can, as a real estate agent, we have a few options. You can list the home, you can buy the home, or you can wholesale the deal. But the money's always going to be in the deal, everybody. Like, at the end of the day, we're as good as our next deal. We don't have any deals, we don't mean shit. And that's just the honest truth. So we have to get really good at finding these deals, because if we find the deals, we control the inventory. And then if we find the deal, we can find the money to invest. We can find the investors that, hey, are going to say, you know what, we want to invest. We have money. And then at some point, you know, you're going to be able to start doing deals on your own, Don. But number one thing is just bringing value to the investors that you work. Learn what they're buying at, what they're selling at, what they're remodeling at, what they're developing at. Learn all those numbers. So when you get in a deal, then you kind of already have an idea. So you're not doing a deal and only making $20,000. Because at the end of the day, like, you know what, you're better off selling that deal, making your commission, and then moving on to another deal while they're going to get stuck doing a project for 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it is, or 2 years, and maybe make more money. But the time and effort, the best ROI for us is to find the deal. And then we get to cherry pick the deals. Then, you know, you're selling 5, 10 deals, and then you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to take that deal for me. I'm going to keep that one for me. I'm going to keep this other one for me. You know what? And then before you know it, you create how many deals that you want to do. And then you can say, hey, no, I'm going to keep these deals. I'm going to sell these deals, but you're in control of the inventory. And every, I think you're on mute, bro. So basically, a deal can change your life. You can meet an investor that wants to invest with you. You can double end a deal and wholesale it and make, you know, X amount of dollars and move out of your parents' house and change your life. A deal can change your life, you know, and the more that we have that mindset that a deal can change your life, you're going to go in with an intention of like, this is it. This is the deal. This is the one that's going to change my life. And it's about bringing the energy, you know, having the energy, having the enthusiasm, and being inspired in it, whatever it is that you do. You know, and where I'm at right now, like, I'm super inspired to realize, like, shit, this real estate game, it fucking changed my life. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, and it's just the beginning. I'm like, wow. And that's why I'm on here today, to share you guys that let somebody like myself that was incarcerated, that came out and they said he was going to go back to jail, that was able to come out and create an amazing life for the person. You know, and everybody's different. Maybe you want to do one deal, maybe you want to do 50 deals. Everybody's in a different road in their life. You know, there's no right or wrong, but this real estate game can change your life as a real estate agent, as a wholesaler, as an investor, as buying your first house to move in. It's all life changing, right? I mean, you buy your first house, you know what? You get some equity, you move into another better neighborhood, you get some more equity, you sell it, you invest. Everything's a life changing experience if you look at it that way. And that's how you have to approach this real estate game and have a plan, you know, so we're not stuck working for the rest of our life, like on a hamster wheel. And that's what it's about. Like, hey, you know what? If it's buying one house a year or one house every few years, but we're creating this wealth through real estate. Because at the end of the day, like, everybody on here, I hope you guys get a lot out of this call, because it's not about changing everybody's life on this call. It's about past you guys. Everybody that has family members, they have kids, they're going to have kids, they have their spouse. And that's what it's about, is really creating with a plan that we can at least execute for the next 5 to 10 years and not be like the majority of everybody else and not get ahead in this real estate game. Because we're the real estate agents. We're the real estate wholesalers. We're the investors. And we don't own the property. We're giving these properties out to everybody else.
He just added mango to the fleet.
So did I answer your question, Don?
Yeah, it did. Thank you so much, man. I had one other question, very specific. You had a post where you said, like, your first deal, the owner, you know, gave you a shot and they allowed you to do like a seller finance deal. Could you kind of give an overview of how exactly that works with, you know, development?
I had two deals that sort of like upped me up in my life. Okay. The first deal I was direct to the owner, and I went to the owner directly, and I prospected him. I called him. I followed up with them, in a period of time. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm interested. I have a client interested in buying your home. And as I started asking more questions, I was able to say, hey, you know what, Mr. Saller, like, what about if I buy your home? Like, well, what would you give me? Well, I mean, you're asking for 650 or whatever the number was back then. And he's like, okay, I'll give you a shot. But hey, Mr. Saller, I need like 6 months. And he's like, why? Because we need to get the plans approved in escrow. And what that individual, and that's stuff that you guys can do too. You guys can sell paper. And what paper is that you're going to the owner and you're telling the owner, I'll buy your property, but it's contingent upon one thing. And they're going to say, what's that one thing? Well, I need to get my plans approved in escrow. I need to get my plans approved in escrow. And then when we close, I can buy the home. Well, how long is that going to take? I mean, it can take 4 months. It can take 6 months. And then what you're doing is you're buying a house with plans approved. And then you can decide to say, hey, do I want to keep this property for me? Do I want to maybe take it down on my own? And because I have the money, or hey, you know what? Let me go raise the money. Let me find out. Let me get some friends and family together to put the deal together. So we can buy the deal, or you can go shop it around to developers, and you can say, hey, I have a property that has plans approved. And I know you build in the neighborhood, right? I know you're a developer in the area. Would you be open? And you can make a quick $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 off 6 months of holding paper. Very, very, very doable. So there's different ways. We can't just stay stuck in one way about doing business. So I did that one, and we got plans approved in escrow. And then from there, I was able to get a construction loan. That was our first project that I did, a ground up construction. We made no money on it, but it leveled me up. It leveled me up to doing another one, and then it just kind of grew from there. And not only that, it gave me the number one thing that life is going to teach you, is that's experience, knowledge, wisdom, knowing what to do, knowing what not to do. And we're a student to the game. We're constantly learning, constantly growing. So there's always going to be new things going on that we're going to learn. But that was one of the deals that I did that sort of upped me into the development game. The other one was the same thing. I met a real estate agent where she had a property on the market. It was on the market for a really long time, and it was sitting. It couldn't sell. It was overpriced. And I approached the agent and I asked her, how's your listing going? And this was over a few months. I would constantly prospect her. I would follow up with her. I would check in with her. Hey, how's your listing going? Daddy, it's just not selling. I don't know what's going on. I've been telling the owners to lower the price. Oh, really? Interesting. Tell me more. Right? We have to continue to ask a lot of questions. The more questions we ask, the more we're going to learn about the situation. And as we ask questions, we have to really be good at sales. And how do we get good at sales? Is learning how to build rapport with the person. If they're crossing their hands, I'm going to cross my hands. If they're talking super loud, I'm going to talk super loud. If they're talking very slow, I'm going to talk very slow. So you want to learn how to build rapport, when you're conversating with people. And I built rapport with this lady over the course of a few months. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, just curious, have you heard about seller financing? And she's like, no, tell me more. Right. Well, and then I told her, hey, well, we would create a certain amount of terms. I would, pay for your commission, and she would carry the note for a period of time. And I negotiated what I wanted, and what I wanted was no interest. I wanted no money down, which I paid the real estate agent's commission. That was it. And I wanted a minimum of two years. And when you're real and genuine and honest and transparent and really, you know, no one's perfect here. We're not perfect. No one's perfect. I don't give a damn what anyone says. You know, we all have flaws. We're not, you know, we all have a past. But the more that we're real with people and straightforward with people and direct with people and really like talking to people, you know, being straight with people, they can see past that. And, you know, this lady, she's seen that I was real. And she said, hey, I'm willing to do that for you. And she carried the property for 2 years for me. And what I did is I added value in the unit. I built 2 units. So I bought it for $650. I put about $200,000 into it. It got valued about 2 months ago for $1.2 million. I did a refinance. I took all my money out. It's not cash flowing, but I took all my money out because the money's in the other units. You know, I'm working on getting the other units out. We get them out, then it's going to be cash flowing. But that's what you considered a BRRRR. We're not really making any money on it, but I'm playing the long game of the situation. So I built the units in the back, and then I refinanced it, and then I paid back the owner her money. And stuff like, so I turned 2 doors into 4 doors. And if we do that 4, 5, 6, 10 times, 20 times, whatever number it is in the course of our career, then dude, that's not bad. It's not a bad income. It's not a bad, you know, it's not bad. I mean, and if we're buying in areas that are growing and appreciating, we're gonna be able to get more equity down the road. And that's just playing the long game, you know. But see, we have to keep our foot on the gas in our careers, our jobs. So for real estate agents, we got to sell a lot of real estate. We need to sell we got to keep cashing those checks at the bank. So when that lender asks for your bank statements, that they want your taxes, you can go to them and say, hey, look at here it is. I can qualify for a house. You know, and then as we're going, we're selling, we're buying one, and we're playing the long game. And it's very simple, Don. You just focus on one house right now. Let me just buy one house.
Sorry.
Don't overcomplicate.
Was it busy?
There's no need to overcomplicate it. Hey, if we're today, let's just sell one house. Let's just set one appointment. Let me just work out today. Let me just be home and be present with my family today. And days that are going to stack up, stack up, stack up, stack up, stack up, stack up. And then you're gonna accumulate, you know, these sales. You're gonna accumulate these properties, you know, and to focus on ourselves. Sometimes we get stuck on social media. Sometimes we get stuck on the world of everybody else, but we forget to stay in our lane. And the more we just focus on ourselves and we just keep doing the thing over the course, we're gonna win. And I always say it's like base hits. Just take base hits every day. Base hits, singles. Then we're gonna hit the triples. Then we're gonna hit the grand slams. But it's playing the long game, you know, and focusing on ourselves. Like it's just day by day, and then you start getting a bunch of momentum. Then people start wanting to invest with you. Then people want to throw properties to you and say, hey, you want this, you want that. Then you start building it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, as I'm growing, we're one deal away from changing our lives and making a difference for our legacy, for our family. So like the intention for this call is not to change everybody's lives on here, but to change the next generation. Because that's what it's about. Because God gave me a second chance at this life. I want to make a difference. And I want to make a lot of money. And I want to have an amazing lifestyle. And that's what it's about. And we all can do it. We all have a story to share. We all have a past. We all can be an inspiration to people.
Danny, I have a question. This is Diana.
Okay. Can you put your screen on so I can see who I'm talking to?
Yes, I'm on bed rest, so excuse the look.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, perfect. So, I actually have been coming across a couple of development opportunities, one in Harupa Valley. How do I come to a developer, or I guess it would be a developer, and present this option, but also kind of hook them for me to be the agent that sells those properties?
So number one thing is that you got to see who the players are in the area, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So number one thing is like who's building out in Jurupa, right? Who's building out in it's considered, is it Riverside County or San Bernardino County?
Riverside
So
County.
there's a few ways that you can do it. It's really not right way or wrong way. But see, for me, I got really good at knowing the players. I studied the market, and you guys, I'm like laser focused in LA,
Yeah.
and it helps me stay focused. I got to stay focused. I got to stay in the lane, and it helps me stay in my lane, stay focused in what I know at, because organically it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. And like we're doing some PPC ads, and we're all over the place. We're in Florida. We got some deals today from Florida. Yesterday we had some deals from Nashville. We're still doing out of the area deals, but I'm focused in my market. You know what I'm saying? So you want to learn who are the players in my market. So there's a few ways to do it. There's number one, if you're a real estate agent, you have access to the MLS.
Right.
Right? So you would reverse engineer it. Who bought in this area as what the same zoning is, what the same square footage is. You would look if there's anything on the market. If there's anything active on the market, new construction, then the person who built it is potential buyer. You can also go on Tax Realist as well, and you can pull up all the people that have bought same square footage, same zoning, same spec on the house. You can check all of that.
You said
so
Tax Realist?
Tax Realist, so it's part of the MLS. Yes.
Okay.
Another way is PropStream. PropStream, you have access to all the cash buyers that bought in that area. So once you have that, then you skip trace them, right? And there's different ways to skip trace a deal. You can, there's TLO, there is what other ones do we use? Lead Sherpa, Data Skip. There's so many different ones where you can skip trace them, and then it's just a cold call. Hey Deanna, how are you today? Hey, how are you? This is Danny, just reaching out to, I seen you bought that property on 123 Lane. I have this off-market, off-market property. Just curious if you have about buying, if you're interested in buying another property. And every time we talk to investors, off-market, hey, I have an off-market deal. They don't want to see what's on the MLS. They really don't, because their mindset about it is that, everybody's seeing it or it's not a good deal. And it can be true or not. I mean, we've done deals off the MLS. We have done some that are not, but that would be the best way to, and then you build that buyer list. You're going to build that buyer list like, all right, now these are the players in this pocket. And then if they're real players, there's a system called Land Vision. Land Vision, I like to use it to see who are the real players in the game. Everybody can talk a big game, but Land Vision will tell me how many properties you own. It'll tell me if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 100 properties, whatever, and then who the players are. And then where to focus on that, where to focus your energy. If buyer A only done, 1 every year, buyer 2 did, 3, 4, buyer 4 is doing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, then where to focus at. And you just can stay strictly to that person and say, buyer number C, hey, where are the properties that you're buying right now? Give me all those addresses. Let me find some properties nearby. And I'm going to bring them to you first.
Okay.
Easy deal. It's an easy deal. Double end the deal. Make some commission.
Yeah, I think it's just, I just know the potential that Valley has, and that owner already, he already requested to get subdivided into 6 different lots because it's a 6-acre lot. And he already paid to get the utilities connected. So I'm like, oh my God, this is a really good opportunity. So I think.
So, so also too, you have a lot of like mom and pop investors. Maybe they own restaurants, maybe they own companies. Your job is just like maybe go to them and say, hey, look at look at there's this property, I think it's a good deal. Show them the comps, show them the rents, do performance, and you can sell a property to somebody that maybe didn't see the vision. And remember, we're the experts. We're the experts in the game. There's a lot of successful people. There's, successful plumbers, electricals, contractors. I mean, you name it. People have successful companies. Everybody wants to be in real estate. Everybody wants a piece of real estate. I don't give a damn what anyone says. It's a hard asset.
How
And
do
the
you
more,
determine? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
the more that we get deals, the more we're going to control. We're going to control the market.
My question was going to be, how do I determine, so like for a new build, right? And I'm presenting it to a developer. Obviously, he's going to want to be like, okay, how much can I sell this for? How big does the house need to be? How big does the lot have to be? How do I determine what the house can be sold for, like projected price, like 6 months from now, or however long it takes to build something?
So it comes with experience, obviously, but a few ways is to get understanding of what construction cost is. Talk to general contractors. There might be some in here, DM, say you're a contractor, whatever it is, and reach out to them, become friends with them, get to know people in the industry, and don't, go to a few people, not just one, because there's going to be a few different people that are going to give different answers. And that answers is, really depending on what they do, what type of construction they do. Like everything's going to be completely different. So it's really hard to tell you like, what you're going to get on the dollar per square foot. But as you learn the business, you're going to get a general ballpark of the number, and then you want to get a general ballpark of soft costs. Well, what is soft cost? How much are plans going to cost? So in order to find out how much plans are going to cost, get in connection with a few architects. Hey, on these types of properties, you don't got to give me the exact dollar amount, but what do you think we're looking on getting plans approved on some architectural plans? $7,000 a door, 10,000, whatever number it is, you'll get a general idea. Second, you want to know what the city fees are going to be. And the only way, is to maybe learn those fees is either asking other developers in the neighborhood that are doing, or even considering going in the city. It really depends. And then, once you get soft costs, you get permit fees, you got some construction fees, and then you kind of understand hard money fees. If they're hard money, then you put those together. And right now, Diana, you're not gonna understand any of it. But what I like about this, we get to go to school for free. We get to learn about real estate investment and getting paid for it. So if you're really hungry and driven, you're going to talk to the right people. You're going to find the right people that are going to give you some answers. And then it's like a rabbit hole. And then you kind of learn more and more and more. And then at some point, when you're in a certain area, like the way we are, like everything's the same. Like everything's sort of the same. Like it's just like cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. And then talking to people like us, right? Other people invest like, hey, what's the cost? And then you'll learn more about the business and the cost. But also too, to do reverse engineering. Reverse engineering, you see like, okay, if this X amount sold for 3 million and they bought for 1, let me figure out the gap. See, the beauty about LA is all the same. You're going to have an ADU, you're going to do flips, or you're going to do, most of the time it's 4 units, but sometimes you see 2 units, sometimes you see 3 units. Then you see bigger projects, but everything's the same. So you can kind of do the same thing of everything. And it's like, okay, well, this one, there's 3-4 comps. They all are around this price. They're all in the purchase price is all very similar, maybe some a little higher or lower based on what year they bought it. And they sold at this point, and then just learning that middle part. And so I hope that answers your question.
No, this was really good. Thank you so much. It was really good.
Questions? Anybody else have questions?
What's up, Denny?
Hey, Adam.
How you doing, bro?
Amazing.
Hey, man, I
I'm
was curious.
alive. I'm healthy, man, and blessed.
Yes, sir. Hey, I was curious if you could kind of touch, it might be a tough question on like what type of liquidity is required to take down one of these tear down and then like your new construction for townhomes. Is the acquisition on hard money and then a refi into construction? Just kind of like the percentage down payment, just anything like that, kind of some insight there.
So yeah, I always recommend start small. Start with an ADU. An ADU, is a good foundation to doing bigger projects. Unless you have the money to do bigger projects. If you have the money to do bigger projects, then you can do them. But to answer your question, you're gonna have to come in with minimum, let's just say $1 million, right? Let's just do $1 million because that's like the average sales price in an LA market, depending on what side of town you are in. South LA, is a lot lower. Northeast of LA, Boyle Heights is a lot lower. Mid city's about 1 million, and then it just goes up maybe into North Hollywood. But let's just use $1 million as a purchase price. So the bank is going to want anywhere from 20 plus down payment, depending on what you can get the bank. So let's just say that's 200,000, Adam. So remember, these projects take 18 months to get built from start to finish, right? So it's going to take you 6 months to get the plans approved. So what's any lenders on the line or anybody that's quick with math, what is the cost of a payment at an 800 purchase price, at a loan amount off the top?
Right, I think it's about 8K, 9K, right? 10% on hard money. At least I don't know what the construction loan looks like.
Let's just
That's
say
what I'm
9K,
paying kind of on my hard
right?
money.
We're going to hold that for at least 5 months. Let's just say 6 months. So 6 months, that's $54,000 of holding costs. First 6 months, meanwhile, you get your plans approved. So now we're at almost close to 255. Then you have permit fees. You have to get your plans approved. Your plans are going to cost you $25,000, give or take. And then you're going to spend another like 15 on submittal fees. So let's just say 40, let's just say 50, and then, so that's already close to 300,000 before you even broke ground on construction. Then, you have to go back to a bank, a construction lender, and you have to put anywhere from, probably minimum 30% on the construction cost. So they're gonna, let's just say your construction's another $1 million. So it's $1 million, and then you have a loan of 800,000, right? The majority, the leftover. Now you have to come in with like 30% of that. So that ends up being another $300,000-$400,000, like 450. So 450 plus 300, that's already close to $750,000 just to do one project. So bigger is not always better. Then they want to see your experience. They want to see your track record. They want to see how many have you done. The GC they're going to want the GC's information. They're going to want your experience. And if you don't have that, you're not getting a loan.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure if she left us on the table.
So it's always better to maybe partner up. Don't get greedy. Partner up with people that have the experience so you can surpass the learning curve. Why are we reinventing the wheel? Let's connect with the right people. Also here, I wanted to do this to collab around with people, like this phone and Instagram has been a life changer. Through this phone and Instagram, 75 people are on the call. So that's the beauty of collabing with each other. Hey, I'm a contractor. Hey, I have some money over here. Hey, over that guy has the property. Maybe we don't make that much, but we gain the experience. We gain the knowledge. And me, you guys think like, damn, this guy's like killing it super big because all that, because I got connected with the right people. That was it. I got connected with the right people. So when those people came into my life, it was a rocket ship. It was like a fire. It was like a match. It just blew up. All the hard work, experience, everything, it just blew up when it just aligned and it just blew up and it just scaled. So, obviously we're eager and hungry to do more and learn and grow and get somewhere quicker. But sometimes taking a little small bite of the whale versus trying to chop the whale's head off is a lot better. Let me just get a little bite. Let me just take my base hit. If I take base hits every day, then that's fine. We don't need to get greedy. We don't need to try to eat the whole whale at once. The long game. We don't need to have 100 properties. Hey, what do we need to live comfortably? 10,000, 15,000, 20? Why do we want 100,000 a month? Why do we want $200,000 a month? Because Joe Blow has it? So, more is not always better. And that's why I say, like, hey, you know what? Look at what you need to live comfortably. What's going to give you peace of mind every day? What's going to help you sleep good at night? What's going to make you happy and joyful? Like, is it stressed out? And me, I put myself in extremely stressful situations and I overdo it, but I get out of them. Then I look at the lesson. I'm like, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth my peace of mind. It wasn't worth the stress. But someone like me, like I need to go through it to learn the lesson. Like you can't just tell me, like I have to personally go through an experience and to be able to preach the peace of mind, to be able to preach that, hey, you know what? When I'm at home at the house, I'm present versus when I'm at home, I'm stressing about projects and I can't even be there with my family. And that's the peace of mind. So bigger is not always better. You're looking at like $750,000. That's not even including, Adam, the monthly payment, the holding cost.
Yeah, on the construction loan, right? That's
Holding
like
cost
another
is going to be
10%.
$200,000. $200,000 easy on a 4-unit. About 170 to 180, 190 for 2 years. Either you pay that monthly or you pay that at the end, depending on how you got the loan set up. So starting on an ADU, you can buy a house with 5% down, 10% down. You can use a VA loan. You can do an FHA loan, 3.5% down. You can find the right property. You can go speak to an architect and say, architect, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a property and I want to add an ADU on it. What do I need? Well, you're going to need, probably a single family residence that has maybe like, 4,000 square foot lot or bigger. If the garage is attached, the garage is not attached. And then when you're out on the market looking, you can go look around and find the house that's going to get you an ADU in the back. And mostly every house in California will have an ADU. You're allowed to do an ADU. So I can buy a house with 3.5% down, 5% down, 10% down. I can go get my plans approved for about $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 to get a set of plans approved for an ADU. I can spend another maybe $6,000 to $7,000 on submittal fees. That's $17,000, $20,000. You want to round the number off. And I can go build an ADU, probably depending on the square footage, about $100,000 to $200,000, depending on what you build. That seems a lot less stressful than coming up with $750,000. So bigger is not always better. But hey, people have the money. People are okay. Like, hey, we can do the bigger projects. So it looks cooler than what it really is. Is there more money to be made? Is there more equity to be made? Yes. But at what cost?
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Of course.
Hey, Danny, I had a question on what you just touched on. So
I'm so sorry, Jesse. I forgot to
Yep.
ask. I know Adam, but like, tell us where you're at, where you're from,
So-
what you know.
So I'm not in the real estate game at all. I actually work in auto loans.
Cool.
I've been doing that for 13 years, but you know, I've wanted to, you know, just get more information on, you know, the real estate game. I tried getting information on, you know, getting my MLO at one point. You know, looking into, you know, getting a real estate license just to kind of see what would benefit me, was where I can still have my day job and at least get my foot in the door, right? Because it feels like the networking part of it is like my industry is in a whole nother ball game where, you know, my network base in that industry is a lot bigger than in the real estate game. But I was curious as to, once you were to get to that ADU part, what can we do with that? Would you consider it like as a rental property, or would you consider maybe selling the whole property in full with an added on ADU? What do you think would be best as the best option after that?
It depends on what you want in your life. You know, like it really depends. Like flippers, all they want to do is make income through flipping. So you know, it just really depends. Hey, maybe you're in a situation right now where you're like, hey, you know what? It's best to sell because I need the money. But it just really depends. You know what? Maybe, you know, I want to get my son in there. Maybe I want to get my parents in there. So we're going to build it to have my parents in there. So it's really no right or wrong answer. It's just what really comes back. Like, what are our goals? What do we want to do in our life? What are we on this path for? You know, and discipline equals freedom. Discipline equals freedom. So whatever that is, you know, Jesse's like, it's really up to you. You know, for me, I want to accumulate some properties, you know, and I want to be able, the way I look at it, I want to be able to put gas on the fire when I want to. So what does that look like? I get to decide when I want to work and when I do not want to work. And for someone like me, I don't think I'll ever stop working, but there's going to be seasons in my life where the work is going to slow down. So, you know, people that are younger, you know, work your ass off right now. Grind it out, because there's seasons in our life where it's going to change. Vanessa was at baseball practice with her kids, you know, so like everybody's different. Like you know, I'm going into that stage where I'm going to be being there with my kid, you know, my daughter, for sports. So no right or wrong answer. You know, it just really comes down to you. You know, I just sold a property the other day. I closing, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what? It wasn't bringing any money yet. I was dishing out money, so it just didn't make sense to have. You know, right now my goals are a little different. You know, I'm sort of putting off the real estate investing, and I'm focusing on my personal residence. I'm building the close to 5,700 square foot house. Like right now, that's my main priority in my life at the moment. So Jesse, it goes back. What do I want? Do I want to be in the auto loans for another 20 years, or do I want to have the option? And that's always said this. It's freedom, option, choices. We want to be able to have our freedom, have the options, and the choices of what do we want to do. We don't want to have a shotgun to our head every day, waking up and being like, damn, I have to go sell a house because I need a commission check. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Cool. What other questions? What do we have? It's already 6 o'clock, but we'll stay on.
Hey Danny, this is Rob. How's it going?
Hey Rob, how are you?
Good man. Pleasure to meet you. Just
Thank
question
you.
on as far as
Rob, where are you from? Or you in the real estate? Or
yeah, I'm from I live in Whittier.
okay.
I've had my license for like 4 years now. I would
Cool.
say kind of part-timing, but things are starting to pick up for me now. So I just wanted to kind of get an idea, like when you were in the beginning stages of your real estate business, what was your prospecting, regimen, or did you focus a lot on the phones, or what did you do to
Yeah.
get rolling?
So everybody's different, right? Like everyone has a different way of of going out and getting business. People like open houses, people like door knocking, people like, paying for ads and, and leads, VAs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Some people can go to family events and get referrals, right?
Yeah.
There's different ways based off your personality. If you're an expressive, most likely you're going to be good in groups.
Uh-huh.
If you're a driver, most likely you're going to like to do the cold calling, knocking, the direct sales, and then depending on, analyticals and annuals, it can range as well.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, what I would like to share here is that, like at the beginning of the call, I said we have to control the deals. The way you're going to learn and the way you're going to learn about investing, stuff like that, is controlling the deals. You're going to be able to give the deal to the investor, and you're going to be able to have a transaction from it and learn from the individual. So me, I always like to do prospecting. I live in Orange County. My market's out in LA. It's a 30, 40, 50 hour and a half drive, depending on what part of town I need to get to and what part of the day it is. So
Yeah.
I don't have the time to go out and door knock. But I think the best way is direct sales, and that's through door knocking and cold calling.
Cold calling.
And really it's we have to really, if we learn how to fish, we're good. We learn how to go kill a buffalo, we're good. And that's our day job every single day, to go out and hunt and kill a buffalo, bring the buffalo back home. Go out and get fish and bring them back home.
Yeah.
So earlier on in my career, I always, I did things that were a little bit over the edge of extreme, but that was my personality, where I work really, really, really good under pressure. And it's not good for everybody, but what did I do? Right when I got out of jail, I bought a Mercedes-Benz. I got some suits. I had to fake this person, and then later on I became the person, but I had to fake it till I made it mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a very ugly discipline schedule, which was very grinding. And so I'm saying, like, I was calling expireds. I was calling, for sale by owners. I was doing open houses. I was doing whatever it is that I needed to do to get a deal. But I think if you're doing this full time, you should be making 50, 60, 70, 80 contacts a day. There's no reason not to be making that many calls or that door knock. What else do we have to do? There's two things that we have to be doing every day. We either set an appointment, buyer appointment, seller appointment, investor appointment, wholesale appointment, set an appointment. The second thing is opening escrow. That's the only two things that we have to do every single day. And if you do those two things, you did your job.
Yeah.
We're going to wake up again the next day, and we're going to do it again. 3 days, we're going to do it again. Thursday, we're going to do it again. Friday, we're going to do it again. And so, but the problem is that we sort of are not focused. We're not, a lot more disciplined than we need to do. We're not time blocking our schedule. We treat this business not like a job. That's the problem with most of us.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We do not treat this like a job. One thing too, I know we have like 62 people. If you guys can repost it, tag me. I'm trying to grow my Instagram. It'll be very helpful and thankful. So if you can tag me and post it, repost, it'd be amazing. So we don't treat this like a job. We come in when we want to come in. We allow people to call us and get in the way of our schedule. We let all these distractions get in the way. But if you are on a payroll or you're on a salary, you wouldn't treat it the way you do. And that's the problem with, independent contractors. We feel like we are our own boss, which we are, but, we still have to answer to someone. We still have to, have clients and talk to them and do certain stuff. But, it really comes down to your scheduling.
Got it. I appreciate all that information, man. Thank you.
And what also too, right, the type of prospecting is high equity. My analogy is I like to shoot a rocket through a window. So anybody that I'm talking to, I want to make sure they're a high probability that they're gonna do something. They're gonna sell. They're going to, you know, they want to move. They have some pain. They have motivation. Maybe they want a bigger house. Maybe they want a smaller house. It really just depends. But that's the type of people that we want to talk to. I don't want to talk to anyone that just refinanced their house. I don't want to talk to someone that just bought a house. The likelihood of them doing anything is very slim. We know statistically say every 5 to 7 years people are going to sell. You know, and if there's one house that sold, when you're driving or walking down the street, pay attention. You're going to see one sign, you're going to see another sign, you're going to see another sign. Statistically say when one house sells, there's always 2 or 3 that are going to sell right after. And your job is to be really good at finding house 2, house 3. The most houses I sold on one street was 5 houses. Very easy. You already have the name. You already have the sale. Now you just got to go find it. Look at development projects. If you're in LA, one construction project, another construction project, it's like boom, 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 boom. Sometimes there's 10, 15 on one street. Depending on the neighborhood you drive. Those are signs.
Yeah.
Well,
And any other questions? We have 60 people on here. I know we have some more questions.
I had a question.
Okay, where are you from? Your name or?
My name is Julian. I work with Crestview Solution in Downey. So we're
Cool.
a wholesale company, and we do like construction as well. So my question was mainly regarding, I guess, time management and the way you kind of manage certain things, if it's yourself or you hand it over to anyone else, and that can be with either like a deal or just your schedule. That's kind of what I want to know from your end.
So time management, right? There's a lot of different ways we can talk about time management. So right now in this like few months of my business right now, it's a shit show. It's a mess. It's like I don't want to say the worst. It's the best it's ever been. Right now, you know, I don't have any help right now. I'm in the process of bringing on. I had assistant that I had an assistant that left, so I'm in the process of hiring someone else.
What?
But normally,
Okay.
You would want to delegate as much as you can to other people, right? Through transactions. So that may be an assistant, that may be a transaction coordinator, that might be someone that's assisting you with the file. You want to delegate, because the number one thing we have to do every single day is what? What's the one thing? The 2 things.
Prospect
Open escrow.
and get an appointment.
Set an appointment and open escrow, and prospecting, of course, prospecting, but the number one outcome of it is set an appointment, open escrow. When I wake up, I want to set an appointment, I want to open escrow. That's it. So it's so simple. It's like so simple, but we make things complicated and we make things more than what they really are. But time management is key. You got like in the morning, right? Like either you wake up tired or whatever. If you go to the gym and you're super inspired like myself and like fucking pumped up to start the day, then it's a lot easier, but you have to protect your energy. There is people that are gonna want to mess you up. There's gonna be that lender that's gonna want to tell you about the rates. There's gonna be that escrow officer that's gonna want to tell you about your files. There's gonna be that agent that wants to talk to you about everything of the transaction. There's going to be the transaction coordinator that's going to bug you. There's going to be an agent that's going to want to bug you. there's so many different distractions. It might be a spouse, right? It might be a friend. So we have to protect our energy every day. Our energy is the most highest in the morning. You know, for me, you know, if I get some good sleep, I wake up good. I go to the gym. Exercising always sort of helps me. It helps me sort of mentally get through the day, and it keeps my energy high, my conscious level high. And what helps me protect my energy and my time is by not letting anyone distract me. So my time has been all over the place. My life has been a little bit of a mess right now. I have this little thing, and I do 60 minutes, and I prospect. I think I probably have like ADHD or something like that, because I cannot stay still or I cannot do things. But I have this little clock that I know that, okay, for 60 minutes, I'm gonna focus on the one thing right now. Escrow appointment, escrow appointment, escrow appointment, and then it's gonna beep. Then I'm gonna take a break. Then I'm gonna do it again. So if I wind this like 5 to 6 times in a day, I got some good calls in. You know, and did I allow anyone to get in the way of that 60 minutes? Hey, I can talk to them once it beeps. Once it rings, I'll call the person. That's if you're doing it on their own, right? But if you're not, you can call route it. You can turn off your phone. There's so many different ways. That's by managing, right? And there's another way. What you can do is tracking your day. Okay, it's 6 o'clock right now. What did I do from 6 to 6:15? I write it down in my book. I've been writing in this Zig Ziglar book for years. The Performance Planner. Been using it for years, and I have my notes in there, and I have all my stuff. And then what I do is, when I want to be more diligent on my time, I can see, what did I do for 15 minutes? I screwed off. Did I go use the restroom? Took forever, and I just track it. Then you're tracking your time for the 5 to 6, 7 hours of whatever time you work. Then you can see, how much time did I screw up? How much was actual work versus bullshit? Work versus bullshit. And you're going to see you do more bullshit than actual work. You're going to go check your emails. You're going to look at the MLS. You're probably going to maybe jump on your website, and you're going to do all these things that do not matter. Because our job is to set an appointment and open escrow for the people that are in the industry, right? That's more industry related question. And also, we have to protect ourselves from the people that don't have a good intention for us, right? And that people that kind of want to get in the way of our things. And that might be, everyone's in a different space of their lives. Like sometimes, we take on other people's problems. They want to call you and, tell you about this. It's like, so you gotta manage your time. And that's how I always do. I manage my time. And I don't let it get in the way. And sometimes it gets really nasty where people are calling me like, I want to talk to him or that. Well, we can talk after 11. If I can get through the morning without distractions, everything can wait to after 11, 12 o'clock. The world is not going to end. It can wait. Push everything off to after 11, 12. Because if I can just focus on the morning and I can be successful in my morning, then I'm going to have a successful afternoon. But if I don't have a successful morning, then I'm really not going to have a successful afternoon because I'm playing catch up. And same thing with all my appointments. I like to push all my appointments to after 12. I want to be at the office. I want to be productive in the office, and then I can go along my day. And a lot of the times, I don't like scheduling appointments on Mondays. I like doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, unless I really need to. If clients are like, hey, I need to go, I need to do this, whatever it is, or I have to do personal stuff, then I do it. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are my appointment days. Because I can set all these appointments during the week on a Monday, and I don't work on Sunday, and I can be ready for Monday, and I can push everything off to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, and you have to look at what's the most ROI on my time. For me, it's deals. For me, it's relationships with people. So I hope that helped.
Helped a lot. Thank you, Danny.
What other questions do we have?
Hi, Danny.
Hello, Kathleen. Is it Kathleen?
Yes.
Awesome. Where are you
Yeah.
from? In the business or?
Yeah, I'm a real estate agent in San Bernardino.
Okay.
And something I really want to ask is, were you ever hesitant in sharing your story, thinking that people may not want to work with you? And what made you
100%.
jump
Yes.
out of that?
For so many years, I was very hesitant about sharing my story. When I got out, I was trying to catch up. I was trying to catch up to everybody else. And I played that game, catching up. And then I played this fake person, like I had a fake success. You know, I had to get the car, I had to look the part, I had to play this person, right? And then, you know, I started realizing that number one is that my story is more impacting by sharing it to others. And that's the reason why I'm on here today, to show you that, you know, we all have something to share. We all have a past, if it's good or bad, whatever. We all have something to share to somebody that needs to hear your message, that you're going to change their life. So, you know, I started to feel more comfortable sharing my story. And then at some point, I just started saying, hey, this is me. If you want to work with me or not, then it's fine. And I had, in my whole career, I had one person not want to work with me because of my past. Everybody else respects it, you know, and we're dealing with $1 million, you know, people that have not high net worths and that have money, but it comes with the confidence level of who I am as a person, my experience in the business, you know, and like, yes, like who I am and what I'm about and basically like the experience that I have, you know, but there's always going to be in the back of your head where you're like kind of worried about what people are going to think and this or that. But at the end of the day, God wants the glory. As we become successful, he just wants the glory that, hey, look at, this is what it is. And this is why I'm here. Like, as I'm becoming more successful, like, hey, let's share the story. Share it, because there's someone that was in your place right now that you're looking up to someone. You're like, dude, I like inspired by that person. I want to be like, I want to kind of get there. And it's about changing lives and making an impact. So when you get out of the fact, like worried about a past and more focused on an impact and how can I change lives and how can I change people's, not only their lives, how can I change their next generation? All that stuff goes out the door. And now I get people like, oh, I seen you on TikTok, or I seen you on that. Like, that's dope. Congratulations. I'm super happy for you. You changed your life. You know, and then, you know, what happens is I you know, moved into another area, a nice neighborhood. Then, you know, you sort of, you know, you create this person, you know, that you've been building on for so many years. And now you have the proof. You know, your successful real estate business, successful investment business, development business, you know, and then, you know, it's like, then it doesn't really matter. It's all, you know, it's more, when we're worrying about that, we're more worried about what others are going to think more than, and that's like all ego.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm like so inspired. I'm so freaking pumped. I want to bring value. I want to answer questions. I want to, you know, help people in this group. I want to see someone maybe buy a house, you know, invest in a property, sell more real estate. Like, so bring the questions. You know, I'll stay on the call, but like, let's bring some questions. Let's get the energy up. Come on. Like, it's Tuesday at 6:20. Let's, like, you guys are all on this call. You guys are all spending your time. Like, let's make the best of it. Let's be productive. So please ask them questions. I'm going to go through these notes right here on the side, but someone asked about to be honest with you, they're asking about that NAR stuff. I don't have no clue what's going on. I know it's something about a commission, but it goes back what we talked about. If we focus on finding deals, we're gonna control the market. If we focus on hunting, if we focus on going out and fishing every single day, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about worrying about a buyer's commission. To me, this seems like a great opportunity. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know where it's going to go, or I really don't know the logistics of everything. I just know that it's about the commission on the buying side. But if we bring enough value and there's going to be a lot of people leaving the industry, that means that we're going to get more market share. This is the time to double down, work extremely hard, and get through this little phase that we have to get through. It's like COVID, right? Like we all got through COVID. We're all worried about COVID. Well, wow, we made it out of COVID. So this is just a place where we're going to be able to gain more market. People are going to leave the industry. They're going to get out of the business, and it's more business from us, for the ones that are going to be strong enough, that are going to have a strong mindset, that's going to have a strong skill set, and going to put in the work. So that's what it's about. We have to have a strong mindset day in and day out. And what does that look like? That might be hanging around with people that are successful. That might be reading the books. There's so many different to create this mindset, create this person. And I always say, create this person that you admire and that you want to give to the world, the person that you never had, right? And be that person and become it. Because this person that I am today was not the person I was 5 years ago. I created this person with the right help, with the right mentors, with the right coaches, right? The people in my life that I had that helped me get here. But this was created. It's all doable. And it's like sometimes it seems like so long. You're like, dude, I'm never going to get there. But we have to fake it till we make it. We have to be this person day in and day out. Right? Have a goal in mind, have a vision, have a set place where we want to do, and let's work towards that. And every day we're going to work towards it. We're going to visualize it. We're going to dream it. We're going to have the goals of wanting to do it. We're going to see ourselves in the nice car. We're going to see ourselves in that nice house. And it's becoming, right? It's becoming. That's why it's called be, do, have. We have to be this person that we admire in being, and do the actions that we need to do to have the things that we want to do, or the stuff that we want. It's someone saying, I see that you do a ton of development projects. I would love to hear more about how you fund projects or how you work with HUD to help the projects. So I have 3 buckets. I have a bucket where I buy stuff on my own as commission. I have another bucket of what I call mom and pop investors, friends and family that invest with us, that trust me and they invest. And then I have another bracket where a partner has a syndication company and he puts all the money up and I get a percentage. So there's different 3 buckets that we're constantly moving around. Is it something I can do on my own? Is it something with friends and family, or is it something over here in the syndication? And that's how we fund all these deals. It's not just Danny doesn't have all the money. No, Danny has the relationships that have the money. And yeah, Danny also has this stuff that he buys on his own. And sometimes, the stuff that we build, we sell it, I take the money, or we keep the deal. Every situation is different. And, you want to make sure that you have the right partners too, because at the end of the day, you're in bed with this person.
Okay. I totally.
So, you want to make sure that, like, hey, what type of person is this person? Is it someone that you can trust? Is it someone that you can be in business for a few years? And you really don't know how people are till you're in the middle of the mix of everything. So that's how we fund the deals. As far as the HUD stuff, I'm doing one project right now that is 100% affordable housing, but that's self-funded. You know, we bought a property for 800, construction's 1.6. Let's see right here, 1.6, plus 800. So 1.6 plus 800. You know, it's 2.4. It's like I mean, it's probably like 2.3. I mean, I'm inflating the numbers because, like, you know, we always want to do a little bit more. We like 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, whatever, 2.5. It's worth 4 million. You know, so that deal is self-funded, and then we're going to go to the bank and get a construction loan. And then the construction loan is going to help us build it, and then we're going to refinance it into a 40-year HUD loan where you can do it at like 5%. So, but it's really funded through hard money and bridge loans and stuff like that. And then as far as keeping the projects, or it's really hit and miss. It's really hard to say. To me, as long as we do more projects and you know, some get sold, some get bought, some get kept, then we're good because we're making money every deal in every way. What are the two cities that are the hot? They're asking, what would you say are the top 2 or 3 cities that are hot at the moment for developers looking for properties? It depends on where you're developing at. So if you're doing a 4-unit or like an ADU play or something like that, I would say for me, it would be a 15-minute, max 20-minute drive from downtown Los Angeles. Or it might be like Santa Ana. You know, it's the lowest price city in Orange County. Those what I would say that would be the hottest city, because, and that can be anywhere. Like, you got to look at where is a growing population and look for that. And you'll find out that, like, wherever it is, if it's, you know, Inland Empire, what's growing out there? What are they building out there? What's coming in the next 5 to 10 years? And you would want to invest in that area. For me, it's 10 to 15 minutes from downtown Los Angeles. Easy. Orange County, the low end of the high end. What's the low end? Santa Ana. Santa Ana is a great market. So if we look in areas that are like growing, you know, for us that are a lot younger, we're going to make the money through appreciation. So, you know, I'm selling a house right now, and I'm closing on I have 2 houses. I sold one. I'm selling one. I'm not making any money on it, but I'm going to be able to keep the property, one of the properties, free and clear. It's going to be like $550,000 of equity. You know, it's good to have, but like also too, we don't want to be too equity rich and not have cash. So, you know, there has to be like a balance. Like, it's great to say like, hey, I have this property, but I'm probably going to sell it and maybe buy something that might have some more income, or refinance it and push out some, you know, so where it evens out. I don't know yet, but, you know, I sold one, kept one, and I was able to make, you know, appreciation through it. So, but like, that wouldn't have came if it wasn't for the location where it was at, that I was buying at. So, you know, over the long game, look for places where it's going to appreciate. Look at markets on the internet or MLS where has been growing consistently year after year after year. Someone's asking the zoning. What zoning do we look for? So we specialize in LARD 1.5, LAR2, LAR3, LARD2, and C2 zonings. This is mostly all the zoning in Los Angeles, in the city of Los Angeles. So this is the zoning that I'm typing in the group that we look for. And same thing too, maybe the ones that are not in the business, that are just looking, as maybe they own a company and they just want to get into real estate, look for properties, and it doesn't have to be LA, look for properties that have zoning that you can do something down the road. You know, you're buying some properties, you're like, hey, look, I'm not ready to do something today, but you know what, in the 5 years, I can probably do something down the road. Well, be educated, get educated, and buy the right property. So when that time comes, you can do development or whatever it is that you want to do, that you can make some money down the road, that you can add value to your parcel. That might be an ADU, that might be 2 units in the back. It really just depends. Let's see. So what other questions? What other questions we have? Anybody else? Any other questions?
You know what? I actually do have another question. When you skip trace these properties and contact the landowners and they're a different language, how do you go around that to communicate with them?
Most of my markets that we're doing businesses is either English or Spanish.
Okay.
So like if you're like Chinese or yeah, or I mean, I really don't do a lot of deals like that. I think they have to be like more English spoken. I have done in the past where I partnered up with like some Korean real estate agents, and where I was able to have them talk to them, like stuff like that. But most of my business is English and Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find somebody, right, that can help you translate, and you guys work in a agreement for a commission.
You're right. You're right. I think the property that I'm looking at right now, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what descent, who are, like, what are they? You know what I'm saying? Like just based on the tell, and then the address. I've already sent a letter out and there was nothing to in return. So I guess at this point I'm just trying to figure out like what they are.
Yeah, go to their door. Go to their door.
There isn't a door, it's just land.
Well, wherever that house is at, so the owner, they have a mailing address.
Yeah, so I've already sent out a letter in English, and yeah, I didn't get anything in return.
No, but you go to that door wherever you mailed it to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'll
go
try
to the
that.
door. Go to the door, and like, trust me, you'll be surprised.
Okay.
You'll be surprised. Mia.
Hi, Danny. Just want
Hello.
to
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for doing this for everyone. I had a question. So I know you spoke a little bit about open houses and what you were doing in the initial stages of your real estate career. I would just say, what is your advice for like a younger agent or a newer agent, rather transferring over from being a buyer's agent to listing agent? It's been a bit challenging and nerve-wracking. What advice do you have?
From going to buyer agent to listing agent? Is that what you're asking? Like more? Okay. I think it's very important, and you're already doing it, is having the right mentors, right? Like your mom, having someone to help you out. But I think the best way is really to do what you're already doing, right? Like it's like you're at an open house, you're able to talk to all those neighbors and bring value to them, right? Like, and then the way that we're going to bring value to them is like, hey, if the property sold, is reaching out to them, right? Like through door knocking and stuff like that. You know, so I really feel like honestly that you're doing a lot of the work of doing what you need to do, but like, you know, I think it's just really understanding that at some point you're going to want to be able to control your business versus like having to deal with, you know, getting your offers accepted, right? And that really, I believe that, you know, and you have it, right? You have the drive, the hunger, you're inspired, like everything like that, you know, you're full of energy, is really, you know, is really looking for these opportunities, because like at some point you're like, dude, like I'm getting my offers, you know, like I guess what happened to me is that I was working, showing these buyers, and like, you know, we would get deals accepted, but a lot of time we didn't. And then like you're like pissed off, and then sometimes the agents, like they have one listing and like they think they're like freaking like the shit, and you know, and they treat you like crap, and all this stuff, right? So, you know, a lot of times that motivated me to go out and find my own inventory, where I was able to control more of my time, right? And if we control the inventory, we control our time. And if you have if you have a listing, you're at least in charge of, you know, you're going to get paid no matter what, right? If you service the listing, now you're just controlling, and now you have a little bit more of your time where you're like, well, I can be more of, you know, working only Monday through Friday, because I'm going to have someone else do the listing. I'm going to have someone else do the open house and stuff like that. You know, and so it's more of like, I think it was just getting sick and tired. Like you just want to like understand, like, where do I, you know, at some point I'm going to want to control this. You know, I want to be in control of my business. And that's going to be taking more listing base, or like for me, like I do a lot of direct to owner. So when I'm direct to owner, I'm in charge of the deal. Like right now we have deals with agents, and they're like, you know, they're not the easiest to work with right now. So what that looks like is going out, you have buyers, now go out and find those people their homes.
Right.
And then you convert. Because at some point you're going to say to me, like, I don't want to work weekends no more. You know, you're like, fuck, I'd rather have, you know, 10, 15 escrows, or I mean 10, 15 escrows, or 10, 15 listings where we're servicing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's more of a switch of a mindset. Like, when is enough is enough? And you're like, dude, like I want my time back. Right now it's good because we're young, right? And you're like, but like me, I don't want to work the weekends.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so me, what that looks like, I got to work extremely hard during the week. So when that time comes, I can enjoy that weekend. I can enjoy that time with my family. You know, and then especially in the time that we're in, Neil, like we have to go after more of the sellers. And if you go after more of the market and the inventory, you're going to control the market. And then when you control the market, you do more business because you're just consistently selling houses in that area. And then it becomes easy.
Absolutely.
But the mindset, right? A mindset like, when is enough is enough? Like, hey, I want to be able to control my time. I don't want time to control me. And you know, I don't want to have to, I'm tired of dealing with these agents. I'm tired of not getting my offer accepted. I'm tired of all this. And it's like, when is enough is enough?
100%. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. No problem. Hey, Wendy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. How do you stay so positive being rejected on such a high level? Because it's hard sometimes, right? You're like consistently getting rejected and rejected, and even by family, because they're like, oh, you're working too much, you know, people are rejecting, everybody's just rejecting you. So how do you maintain positive? Is there something that you like visually see all day long, vision board, read?
Yeah, you know, great question. So it's very hard, right, to keep our energy super high throughout the day, right? Like, you know, and to be able to get rejected, you know, like to me, like, I wake up, I need to go to the gym. The gym helps me, right? You've been on this like this fitness journey, right? Like you feel amazing. You've been exercising, you've been, you know, I see you on Facebook, you're, you know, you're feeling good about yourself. That helps me get through the morning. Meditation helps me. You know, meditation helps me quiet my mind and raise my conscious level. And I've been doing meditation. I've been doing sound bath. I've been doing I've been floating in salt water. I've been getting massages. I've been doing everything to keep my energy super high, to keep me going. But the way I look at it, Wendy, is that I need to get rejected at a high level. If I get rejected at a high level every single day, I'm winning. I'm winning because I'm getting rejected at a high level. And the more I get rejected, the more that I'm going to succeed and get business. Right? And it's fun right now because like, damn, dude, I get we can sell the house, we can buy the house, we can wholesale the house. Like there's so many different ways to get the business. And like also too, like I like looking at pleasure. So pleasure would be like, okay, right now I have a goal to finish my house. I put myself in a position where I shouldn't have never did what I did. I should have never tore down my house. I should have never started the way I did, but it motivated me to want to finish the house. And that was through prospecting. And so like, it might be a car, it might be a vacation, it might be accountability partner, but it's really understanding like, that we're one deal away from changing our lives. We really are, because one deal can turn into 10 deals, and it can really set your career into another level. And sometimes maybe, like I said, it's maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're pushed against the wall. You owe taxes, you're in debt, and everything like that. The motivation is to get out of it, even though when it's really black and cloudy and you can't really see past anything, and you're like, fuck. Debt collectors are calling me, people are asking for their money, and we're trying to push out of it. But so everybody has a different like way of like what motivation. Like me, I want to finish my house. I'm building my house cash. So every deal we're chunking away at the property. I visualize in my head being in my house, driving up to my house, driving in my house. I have a goal to buy a Phantom. I want a fucking Phantom. I don't know why I want it, but I want a Phantom. So like, hey, let me make a goal to make this. It's a game. It's a fucking game that I get to play every day. Let me see if I can set an appointment. And then the rejections, like, it's inspiring because I'm like, all right, it's not you, it's the next person. But the energy has to do a lot with the chaos. I got people trying to sue me. I got people trying to take stuff from me. I got people I have my ex-assistant reaching out to my clients. Like, it's a shit show. But you know what? It's all good because it's perfect. Play the perfect game. Everything that we're going on, the chaos, the bullshit, it's perfect. What do I need to learn from the situation? Why is this happening? Right? But the energy, keeping the energy high is going to help me get through the chaos. And that's working out. Sometimes I'm working out twice a day because I need to get back. I got to get my energy up, and it's a materialistic. Sometimes it's maybe a certain amount of, bills paid for the month. It's whatever it is that's going to push you to get past that rejection. So, Wendy, make it a game to get rejected at a high level. If you get rejected at a high level, you're going to do more business. And if it's hard getting rejected for you, how many other people are not even going to want to get on the phones?
Yeah.
And if you knew, Wendy, that this business can change your life, how would we look at a cold call? And that's why I'm so pumped. That's why I'm so damn inspired to be here with everybody, because this is a life-changing industry. And it's life-changing however you want it. You want a sushi restaurant, you want a pizza restaurant, you want, a Chinese restaurant, whatever it is, what type of restaurant, you can have whatever it is that you want. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Any other questions? It's already 6:45. What else? I have this that I like reading every day. I could probably email it out to everybody, and and I'll read the first part of it, but it's $1 million a month being. $1 million a month being is, I know what I want, and I am very clear as why I want it. I don't believe that I have to work hard to achieve my outcomes. I don't believe in grinding it out or having to struggle. Things come to me easily, naturally, automatically, because I know what I want. I believe that I know that there is plenty of money out there to be made, that there is plenty of nice people out there that need to sell residential, commercial, vacant lots, fixer-uppers, apartment buildings, commercial buildings every day, and they need people like me to buy them. I'm looking for easy, smooth transactions, nice and decisive people that work with me that do not necessarily need top dollar. This is the natural balance of the universe. My standards are high and more defined. I am very deliberate in my work and playtime. I only meet with qualified people that there is an outcome or a clear result in their in mind. What's my outcome? My communication is clear. I have great rapport skills. I have huge levels of charisma. I address all important items and details up front. I am effective at delegation. I delegate to the team around me that are eager, accessible, knowledgeable, efficient, effective, and do things for me. I have a strong, powerful mindset. My life experience is based on my clarity of knowing what I don't want and knowing what I want today, and that gives me the confidence. I believe and know abundance attracts more abundance. I believe and know that huge levels of abundance are normal and natural. I believe in knowing my belief and knowing is stronger at this level. I believe that everything I think about flows to me effortlessly with ease, with no resistance. I eliminate resistance from my life. I believe that this is the key point right here. I believe and know that being rich is not in who I am and not about what I have. And what I have is simply a measure of who I am and the difference I make. I spend 80% of my time in who I'm being and 20% of the time in what I'm doing. I already know that I am successful. It's in my being. I believe it. I know it. I'm congruent with it. I know who I am. I don't need to prove anything. I do my work and live life with inspired action, full of joy, totally 100% satisfied with where I am and eager for more. I really enjoy to live life to the fullest and have fun. I am humble in harmony, keeping it real and simple and feeling good, aligned, living large and fearless, not attached to the end result. And I know that everything will be taken care of. I read this sometimes a few times a day. Sometimes I read it one time a day. I don't know. And this changes my mindset. You know, so sometimes maybe, you know, Wendy was talking about like goals, like sometimes, you know, we have, you know, I have my goals, my year goals, my 5-year goals, and I read them throughout the day sometimes. Just a reminder of why I'm on this journey. What helps me get through the day? And it's not about waking up and being like, dang, I don't know, like I'm, you know, stressed out today. No, it's inspiring to wake up every day because we're healthy, we're alive, and I have my freedom. A lot of people don't have their health. Some people didn't wake up today, and we have our freedom. Priceless. And we get to do this every single day. We get to change lives. We get to make a difference in others' people. We get to change our families' lives. It's a beautiful thing. And so it's all perspective and it's all mindset. Anything else? Anything else before we get going? Any more burning questions? Diana's asking about experience with evicting a tenant. We had a tenant that a property manager housed, and they moved in. They paid me once for a few months, and then they stopped paying 9 months. And after we hired, we have a property manager. That property manager was able to take the eviction process from start to finish. It took 9 months, and we had to go through the whole court. They stood in the house the whole 9 months, did not pay any rent. And then what happened at the end is that we did a sheriff lockout. That sheriff lockout took a couple weeks. They're super behind, and we were able to get them out. And we actually just got the unit in ready condition to rent out again. And So with tenants, you just never know. You know, you always want to make sure if you guys decide to do some type of investing that, you know, you leave enough money in there where in case you have a vacant unit or something like this happens, you can either cover the money or you have money coming from the other properties and stuff like that. So from the other units, so you're not negative every month. And if you're negative for month after month, you have to just really make a decision. Do I want to like just cut the bleeding, or do I want to, you know, maybe, you know, fix the problem or do something like that, or just sell the property, you know? So we can't be so attached to the outcome, you know, of certain things. So hope that helps. Anything else? Well, I'm gonna stay to 7. I'm gonna cut it at 7. We appreciate everybody, but any other burning questions or anything else?
Hey Danny, it's Chris here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, Chris.
Hey, I know you mentioned that you are looking for an assistant, but what is there any by any chance are you hiring for like partners in like real estate, like as far as agents and stuff? I know we kind of spoke briefly, but on DMs, but I just wanted to since we're on
Only
here.
full-time, only really full-time, and I'm only really considering like a few people, like maybe like 2 more people.
Mhm.
You know, so only if they're full-time and only if they're like in the local area. Other than that, it doesn't really work.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anything else? Anybody else?
Hey, Danny. Derek Gonzalez. I'm in LA and OC. I'm a realtor.
Oh, hey,
One of the
Derek.
things that you said, I'm doing well. Thank you. One of the things that you mentioned was about going out and, you know, finding the deals and controlling the inventory. Now, I'm about a year in, and as a newer agent myself, do you have resources or tools that you would recommend that help hone in those skills?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like as far as like finding more deals or
Yeah, just the process from, you know, just from the communication to the how to look, where to look, you know, basic, you know, you talked about, you know, cutting down like the curve of it, you know, from not having to relearn the wheel process. You know, what do you have any recommendations on like what could be done to narrow that window or cut down that learning curve?
Well, I think it's also too like really, you know, either working on a team or, you know, doing some type of mentorship or something like that. I think that's like one of the things that you can do. But I think it's like being in these groups because like I know this is virtual, but like everybody in this chat should be dropping their Instagram and be like, hey, follow me on Instagram. Let's connect. Like you were on the Zoom. Hey, like what are you up to? Like really connecting. And that's a collaboration. Like we have, you know, close to 50 people on here that are on here, and it's a collaboration of meetups, Instagram and stuff like that. So you can learn what other people are doing, you know, as ways. So it's like mentorship program, you know, maybe a team or through this social media, you know, through these Zooms and stuff like that is really dialing in. But like to go over and explain it again is also to like really learning a market. Like, you know, if it's what city do you live in? Derek?
I'm in Cyprus.
Okay, so like Cyprus. So like what you would also want to do is like look for an area that has high turnover. So Cyprus is really low turnover. There's really not a lot of inventory. Like go into a market where there's a ton of sales. Like you don't want to be in an area where there's no sales. You know, why are you going to be there when there's no inventory? Or if there is, does it turn quick? So like you want to look for cities that have high turnover and there's a lot of like escrows pending, stuff like that. You know, the closest city that has a lot of inventory is Long Beach. Long Beach has a ton of inventory, bro. And really just looking in there and like honing down into a pocket, a location, and then just going after that pocket over the course of the year, you know, and that's reaching out to the titles officer. Hey, title officer, I want to work in Long Beach And I want you to pull all the high equity homes, people that like been in the house for more than 20 years, that haven't done any work. And then you go from there, and then you script trace them, and then maybe you mail them, and then maybe you get some cold callers to call them. Most of the time at the beginning, you have to do all the work. You're going to have to do all the work. So I hope, did that answer your question?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
And really collabing with other people that are doing business too, is really seeing, hey, what are you guys looking for? What are you looking, can we do some business? Like a lot of my business on here is collaboration. We're doing deals all together. People bring us deals. I send deals out, like it's a collaboration, and that's the thing is like, what I want to build is a collaboration of people that are willing, that are doing business together, that are helping each other, that maybe are buying property from each other, and that are learning from each other and willing to help each other like that. And that's what I want to that's what I want to build, because as we grow this together, we're able to trade deals and do all kinds of stuff, and it helps everybody. So continue to go to these events, continue to get involved in meetups to do, if you have the time, go to the meetups in person, do these events. And yeah, everybody should be dropping their handle in, like, hey, follow me. I'll follow you back, whatever. And like, Instagram is like, if you're not on Instagram, you're sleeping. You're sleeping on business. Through Instagram. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Can I just add something to,
Sure.
the last things you were saying? So, just want to thank you, for all the knowledge that you throw, the motivation. But, from the time that I met up Danny in person, it was at a meetup in Riverside. And I remember I wanted to meet you in person. And thanks to that, I got introduced to your friends. And we were able to collaborate
My
on a
friend.
project.
That's right.
Yes. No, it's our friend. No, but thanks
Just
to
kidding.
that,
Yeah.
right? We were able to collaborate, and that was really cool because I've been wanting to do something. So I actually got to go in person, met up with you, and then I built some good relationships with some good people. So, just want to say that this is the reason that I joined here as well, because you never know who you're going to meet,
Never.
having similar goals, or you complement each other and then just make something happen that everybody will benefit from it.
Yeah, and you know what? And if anyone wants to share before we go, but Vanessa hit on the nail. Relationships, just real quick. So I met Kevin Sturdivant from Case Real Estate in 2014 on Instagram. I worked with him for 5 years. Through Kevin, I met so many people, so many relationships, so many mentors. From one person I met on Instagram, that one person opened up the doors for me. I met that person, that person, that person, that person. It was up to me to take, to do the work with those people. So, it's very important on relationships. Like, don't get stuck on money and deals. Like, relationships go such a long way. Like, this is the next 10, 15, 20 years right here. All these people, we're all young and we're the next people. So don't ruin relationships. Connect with people and build that relationship, because you never know where a relationship's going to go. And you have to like really understand that. And through one fucking person, I was texting him the other day. I'm like, bro, thank you so much. Like, if it wasn't for you, I did all the hard work and all that stuff, but if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known all the people I know. I met all these successful people. It's crazy. Through relationships, through Instagram, working with him, through meetups. I met friends. Like, it's just crazy. It's amazing. And you guys can work together and collab with each other, and maybe you guys work, maybe you work in the same area, or maybe you're like, hey, you know what, I see you're a female and I'm doing business. Like, collab and work with each other. Put our ego to the side, and together we'll grow. Anyone else? Anybody want to share anything or anything before we let go? Any comments, suggestions, or Vic does? I haven't used Vic's skip tracing, but Vic in here does skip tracing. You know, he has skip tracing. Want to reach out to him, Vic Diaz. You know, I've been meaning to try his stuff, and we're gonna try it out. You know, there's so many different relationships in here. You know, there's general contractors. I mean, Vic, you want to share anything?
Yeah, is my speaker on?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, well, I just ended up getting like the domain name today, but I pretty much have everything, all the infrastructure set up for the skip tracing for real estate. Just a little bit on my background. I've been in the collections industry for 27 years and owned my collection agency for about 17 years. So, I mean, I've got it pretty dialed in where I've gone through like 6, 7 different vendors to get to the current vendor where I'm at. And I think the price point is just set great. I mean, we're not the cheapest. Like you and I have talked about, Danny. I have talked to some people. They say they're at the 2-3 cent per record. I'm not. I'm more around the 10 to 12 cent range. And for established relationships, could be a little bit lower. But I mean, what we try to really specialize and hone in on, we don't want to be the cheapest. We don't want to give you 7 numbers for 2 cents. Our philosophy is if I can give you 2 numbers and an email for 10 cents, and you have cold callers and they're going to dial 2 numbers with a 70% success rate, it's a lot better in my eyes, especially running a collection agency, which has a lot of parallels to the wholesaling, where now your cold caller doesn't have to call 7 numbers to try to get a lead, and the 5th, 6th, and 7th number are their uncle or their aunt or, you know, a relative. So we hone in more on less is more. And if the quality of the lead is good, then guess what? You're going to be able to dial 10 numbers and touch 5 different accounts versus dialing 2 accounts and it takes you 14 numbers to dial through those 2. So that's pretty much our philosophy in a nutshell. The skip trace company is called On Target Data Skip. Like I said, we just secured the domain today. We got the website getting built, but the infrastructure is set up. So if you want to reach out on DiazVictor01 on Instagram, just send me a message. We've got a couple people, and I'm working on getting some commercials set up from the people that have used my service. I don't know if you're familiar with Martin Romero, but he's working a lot with Yoni out in the Riverside area. And he used my data a couple times, and he's super happy. I just talked to him a little earlier today. I guess he's not doing as much cold calling because he says that with the pipeline that he built and like what you talk about, the relationships, he's saying the deals are coming to him left and right now without him even having to, you know, cold call. So that's basically what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people in here. Like, take advantage and connect with people. And yeah, anybody else would say? If not, we'll end the call.
Danny, is there any companies that you recommend for cold calling?
We are like for VAs.
Yeah.
Email me. I have this company that I've been meaning to use. I used them in the past, and they're like $4 or $5. I actually have 2 people actually. Who's the other one that they were telling me I wanted to use them? I have 2 people. I can just text me and I can send you their information. You know, and I think they're like $4, $5, $6 an hour or something like that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Perfect. All righty. Anybody else? Or if not, that's it. I'm going to end it and appreciate everybody's time.
Danny, right here, Jose.
Yes.
I was the one that made the first question. Like, I was speaking about I had a situation right now. Currently, I'm in a halfway house. I'm right here in Brawley. I'm from San Diego. I'm from San Diego locally, born and raised. I'm just 21 years old. I've been trying to get in the real estate game. Like I said, I made a question. It was the first question, I think, about how I could get my real estate license. And I also have a couple of properties down there in San Diego already shared here by message. I don't know if I could have like a private talk with you before ending the call, or I don't know if you could have some time to spare to me. I would like to speak with you personally about some stuff. I don't know if you could help me out. And
for sure. Yeah, just text me your number and I can call you before I head out.
Okay,
on
man.
Instagram.
I really
you have my
appreciate
Instagram,
that.
right?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
didn't do it before because I'm too shy and there were too many people and I really don't
Yeah.
want nobody knowing my situation. It's kind of embarrassing. So I appreciate that.
Man, and we all fail. No one's perfect, you know.
Yeah,
I
of
mean, we all
course.
have a past, man. So,
Yeah, of course. All right, man. Appreciate that. I'll show
all
the
right.
info running.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right. If that's it, then we'll end the call. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody in the call. Yeah, and you guys have a good evening.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Connect with each other. I'll leave it on for a few minutes, or if maybe anybody wants to privately chat with people or whatever. You guys have a nice evening.
Bye, Danny. Thank you. Talk to you soon.